Kia ora everyone, thank you for clicking on the video. Now I'm just going to get straight into it. Male protagonists and female protagonists. Do we as gamers really care whether a game features a male or female main character? For me, as a male gamer, I don't care. For my short answer, I don't really care whether a game features a male main character or if you play as a female main character, cat, dog, sheep, raccoon, cow. I don't care. I just want to play the game, and I will judge for myself whether the game is good or not. And if the game turns out to be not so good, it won't be because of the main character's gender. It'll probably be because of the main character's lack of personality, maybe. Similar to Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs has a male main character, but I thought his personality, it wasn't because of his gender I didn't like Aiden Pierce. It was because of his lack of personality. He seemed very dull, and I couldn't quite connect with him on a personal level, as opposed to maybe Clara, which is his female, I guess you could call sidekick, or something like. I really liked Clara. I thought she was good. I thought her personality was good. Her voice actress, her whole personality I really liked, as well as T-Bones. I thought his personality and his own, those two characters were much more interesting than the actual main character that you play as. So really, gender doesn't make a difference for me as a male gamer. I will decide whether the game is good or not. And if it's not good, that'll be because of the story, or the main character, or the frame rate, or whatever else is there. Not necessarily because of the gender. Is like, oh, this game features, Remember Me. Oh, this game features a female protagonist. Or I don't know if I want to touch the game. No, I welcome it. To be honest, I welcome female protagonists. I think that they're really cool. I love Tomb Raider. I thought that game was absolutely, was fine. Heavenly Sword, I really enjoyed playing that one, as well as Beyond Two Souls. What else is it? Life is Strange, that was another one that I really liked. Child of Light, Mirror's Edge, another one. All of these games have female protagonists, and there wasn't a point where I thought, I didn't like playing as a female character, because I'm male, I should play as a male character. No, I welcome the idea of having a female as the main character that you play as in video games. I am all for it. But with that being said, there is also a business standpoint that developers, especially big development companies similar to, like Ubisoft and EA, Rockstar, all of those are very big game development teams, and they make really big AAA games, and it's those developers that do the research. They ask the questions like, who is our target market, which age range are we going for, especially when they want to do a big AAA title, a new IP, I guess you could say, similar to Assassin's Creed. Most Assassin's Creed games are of male protagonists, and the reason why that is because Ubisoft done the research. They found out that male, there is more money to be made if the main character in Assassin's Creed is to be male rather than perhaps female. That's sort of the business side of things. Because at the end of the day, it really is about money, even though it may sound a bit, stink. the truth is that these companies, you know, they like making games, but at the end of the day, it is about making money. And they do their research and they find that, oh yeah, you know, most gamers do like perhaps to play as male characters, or male characters in video games are more approachable, I guess you could say, you know, whatever you want to call it, you know, and that is the truth. There is money to be made if the game has a male character, but whereas if a game has a female character, maybe not as much money, you know, is being made if they make a female character as their main character for their game, if that makes any sense. You know, so there is also business standpoints, you know, because at the end of the day it's about making money. And that is stink, you know, and at the end of the day it really is up to the developers. You know, maybe their story requires a male protagonist rather than perhaps maybe a female. You know, really it is at the end of the day up to the developers what they want to do and what type of story they want to tell. And also another thing that I forgot to mention is that not only do I like the idea of female protagonists in games, but I also really love the idea of female villains in games, especially a particular villain that I do like would have to be off of Ratchet and Clank in Nexus. Now in this game, Ratchet and Clank have to face up against a female villain named Vendra Prog, and this female villain would have to be one of the best villains that that not only one of the best villains that Ratchet and Clank have come across, but also one of the best villains that Insomniac has written and has made. This Vendra Prog would have to be one of the best villains since Dr. Nefarious, which he wasn't introduced until Ratchet and Clank 3. Up Your Arsenal, and that game was released, you know, years ago. You know, that game was released on the PlayStation 2. So, you know, and ever since then, and ever since Dr. Nefarious, there hasn't been a very memorable villain. You know, most of the villains since Dr. Nefarious were sort of funny, you know, but none of them really were a threat against Ratchet and Clank. Or not really on a personal level, you know. You could always, you always predict that, oh yeah, Ratchet and Clank will win, you know, which he always does. But whereas this one here, Vendra Prog, this was the first villain that actually really tested Ratchet and Clank personally, you know, which none of them really did. None of the villains before really did, you know, except for Dr. Nefarious. And now Vendra Prog, I think, to be honest, is one of Insomniac's better villains that they've made, and one of Ratchet and Clank's best villains that they have to defeat, in my own opinion, though. And the same thing goes for what's her face? Bloody Mary. Now for those who have not seen for those who have not played The Wolf Among Us, I'm going to spoil some stuff in the game, so you have been warned. If you have not played The Wolf Among Us, I'm going to spoil it. So spoiler warning, okay, are we good? Are we ready? I'm going to say it now, okay? Ready? Okay. So anyways, Bloody Mary, and the whole The Wolf Among Us, out of all of the characters in The Wolf Among Us, Bloody Mary is the only character that could take on, not only can she take on Bigby in his ultimate wolf mode, but Bloody Mary was the only character that could possibly defeat Bigby and perhaps kill Bigby as well. Bloody Mary is the only one, the only character that could defeat Bigby, but in the end, you know, she doesn't, obviously, because you are the hero, and you know, and you do have to kill her, but in saying that, I thought Bloody Mary, the character, and how Telltale Games made Bloody Mary into this very strong character, this very strong female villain that Bigby had to face, was again one of the best villains that I have seen, you know, especially considering that Bigby is a male, you know, is a male, and he has to kill a female villain. I think, you know, I really like that concept, and Bloody Mary is hands down, is you know, really well written and well voice acted. Same as Vendra Prog from Ratchet and Clank. She was very well written and very, you know, and had a good voice actress to voice as Vendra, you know, and plus both of these characters are hot as well. I think that they, you know, they are very good looking. I really like that female badassery, you know, that you know, they even though they look pretty, they still can fight, and they can still take on men. You know, they can still take on the men heroes, which some, you know, of the other characters might not be able to do. You know, take on Ratchet or take on Bigby, but these female, you know, Vendra Prog and Bloody Mary are the only characters that can take on and match these male heroes, you know, to the point where they could possibly kill the male heroes, you know, but don't, you know, obviously, because these are the heroes and these are the villains. But I just like the idea of females being able to match up against male heroes, you know. I really like that concept. And also another thing that I would like to see in other video games is also females being used as enemies that you have to kill, you know, because most games it's middle-aged men that you kill. Most games, you know, third-person shooters like, say for instance, Uncharted, you know, Nathan Drake, all of his enemies are all middle-aged men, all of them. Uncharted Drake's Fortune, Uncharted Among Thieves, and Uncharted Drake's Deception. All three of them, all of the enemies in all three games are all middle-aged men, all of them, you know. Is there something that I'm not seeing? Is there like an invisible line that developers aren't allowed to cross? Perhaps, maybe, you know, are developers afraid to make female characters because they might get backlash, perhaps? I don't know, you know, or is it the ESRB doesn't want video games to portray females as bad? You know, females must always be good, or else either the sidekick alongside the hero, or the person you have to go rescue. You know, is it, you know, at the end of the day, developers can do what they want to do. Obviously, it's their game, but at the same time, I am all for female villains. I am all for female enemies that you have to kill. I am also all for female protagonists. You know, I think female characters can be used more and should be utilized more in all games. If developers do want to make a game that features a female character, I think, you know, we should support it and buy it, or at least that's what I do. I like to support it and I'll buy it. You know, yeah, sure. Like Life is Strange, I wasn't too sure if that game was good, but then I thought, oh, you know what? Stuff it, I'll just buy it and see if it's any good, you know, which I bought it and I absolutely love it. You know, I like Life is Strange. I thought that was damn good. A damn good episodic-y, you know, Walking Dead-ish, you know, type game, but, you know, it doesn't have any violence and stuff, or shooting any zombies, of course. But again, I thought Life is Strange, like, there was nothing wrong with it. Child of Light, you know, where you play as a little fairy girl, you know, that was good too. I enjoyed that game so much, you know, so really it doesn't matter, you know, or at least this is my own, you know, to end the video off, it doesn't matter for me. As a male gamer, I don't care. As long as the game is good, you know, whether the main character be, yeah, a cat, a dog, a cow, you know, it doesn't bother me. I'll buy the game regardless. You know, but again, this is just my opinion. If you think otherwise, then that's cool. You know, I'm not trying to force my opinion on everyone else's. I'm just stating my own opinion. That's it. That's all. I think that's all I want to say. Yep. That's all I've got to say. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I do appreciate it for you guys clicking on my video. You know, it helps. Okay, anyways, state, comment, you know, I like to hear what everyone else thinks. Anyways, this is me, I'm done. Kia ora, ka kite, I'll catch yous up in my next video.